your face. Come on, hit him! Erie penalty to number 2, Art Gosling, 2 minutes for high sticky. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes, 48 seconds.
Now, don't commit yourself too soon or I'll fake you out of your damn job. Try a poke, try a sweep, but don't commit till you take me out, all right? Now. Oh, now you got it right. Yeah, yeah. Way to go, Jerry! Yeah, sure. Hey, you can check. Nobody gonna tell me you can't check.
What do you mean by that?
Ah, nothing.
Who said I couldn't check?
Nobody. What's the matter with you?
What, Brian say anything to you?
What the hell would he say to me?
About me. He's riding me all the time.
Hey, just cool it with Brian.
What does he want from me? And what was that crack about deadheads without ice time?
He's new. Just runs off at the mouth. Listen, you played a hell of a game against Kansas City.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Hey, Miller! Brian wants you in his office.
What for?
What the hell do I know?
Oh, yeah, Miller.
You want to see me? Doyle said you want to see me.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I asked you to come in here. See, the fact is, it's a question of balance. I mean, on the club, you know, balance. Well, you know what I mean.
What?
You're going down. Moline. Now, Feeney will give you the transportation, and you report right away. They get a game Tuesday or something. So that's it. You report to Moline, right?
You're out of your head. What are you talking about?
I can't carry a man who doesn't have the ice time.
Ice time? You're the one who decides who plays. If you give me ice time, I'd have ice time.
Look, I don't have to argue with you.
Listen, I've been on this club 3 years. I'm a damn good defenseman.
Miller, I'm trying to let you down easy. Now, don't push me.
Oh, boy, is that a crack.
Hey, don't get wise. Now, just don't get wise.
What do you know? You've been here 2 months, and you can't find your way to the toilet.
You want it, you're gonna get it. Just what the hell good are you to us? What are you, an ace skater, a shooter? In a pig's eye. I looked over the roster when they brought me in here. I should have fired your butt from here then. But I thought I'd give you a chance, okay?
A chance? You only played me when Graham pulled the groin muscle. What kind of chance you call that?
Second period last night. Artie Gosling high stick you, right? What did you do? You turned around, you skated away from him. What are you, Dorothy Hamill? I don't want any damn figure skaters on my team.
I knew you knew nothing about hockey. He got the 2-minute penalty, right? They had to play one man down, right? Now, we could have scored on a power play if you had one. Now, that's hockey.
Look, I just want you to get out of here.
I'm talking to you.
You listen to me. I can mark you so lousy. Moline, you won't play for East Eskimo, Saskatchewan.
You sure they're all right?
Sure.
They've been getting tanked out there for 2 hours now.
They're all right.
We shouldn't have come tonight.
Oh, honey, come on.
All the way over in the car, he just kept turning the radio from station to station. Oh, listen, I left some things in the back seat. Eddie's baby things. We can...
Oh, yeah. We'll look them over later. Is Jerry sore, Dave?
Why? Should he be?
Well, you know, Dave's a couple of years younger and he's doing very well. Jerry must... I don't know. Dave just said Jerry might be sore.
No. No. I mean, I don't think so. Gosh, sometimes this gets me so damn mad. I mean, this has got to be a terrible thing for Jerry. And he won't even talk to me about it. Must be cold out there, huh?
Dave doesn't feel it. New Year's Eve, he was sitting out there in his T-shirt.
Maybe I'll take some coffee out.
Honey, leave him alone.
Well, the whole thing has got me off the wall. You see, this summer they send me a new contract. And I've got no complaints. It's a 10% raise. So you figure you're set for another year, right?
Sure.
So I signed a lease on the apartment, and that makes sense. And I bought a camper with a stereo tape deck, right? And then what do? They send in that clown Bryant. Who the hell does he think he is pushing people around, huh? I put out for this club 3 years.
Look, Jerry.
And I am not saying that I'm Bobby Hall or even Esposito. I'm not even Dave Eskenazi. But I am a damn Major League Hockey player.
Hey, listen, if you need anything, I mean, it's just in the bank. It's just laying there.
I can play on any damn team in this league.
All you gotta do is just say the word, you know?
What?
If you need anything.
What are you talking about?
Money.
What the hell do I want with your money?
Well, I don't know. You were talking about the lease and...
You
and,
can take your money and shove
Oh,
it.
Jerry, you got a bug up.
Listen, I was playing in this league when you were somewhere to hell and gone in a senior amateur.
All right, all right.
Moline. How do you like that, Moline? I should have belted that Brian right in the mouth.
Oh, the hell with Bryant. You should have belted Art Gosling in the mouth.
Art Gosling?
Last night when he high-sticked you. Jerry, all that crap that Bryant hands out of a competitive edge and hustle and desire and will to win. You know what they want. Why do you think they dropped Rameau? All right, all right. That's what they want.
Dave, I've been playing hockey since I was 8 years old, and that is not hockey.
Jerry, give them what they want. Give it to them.
Moline. Damn them. Is it always this cold in here?
That ain't nothing. You know, there's no hot water in the shower? No cold water neither. Hey, kid, what do you think? You're still in the major league? You know, when I was released from Toronto, it was even worse. Half the time there was no locker room. We dressed in the bus.
How long did you play with Toronto?
9 years. Then Chicago for 2. Then anywhere.
Why don't you quit? Did you save any money?
Yeah. My wife got it. She took it with her to Vancouver.
You were over the hill. You should have quit. I'll be out of here by next season. Or I'll get a job driving a truck. Don't laugh too hard. It's not that funny.
Hey, kid. Come on, take a look at me, huh? 46 years old. I go out there and let those kids bang me into the boards. I got 138 stitches in me. I got fluid on the knee. I got arthritis. Maybe I hang in 1 more year, huh? And then maybe not.
What's that got to...
Hey, come on, take a look, huh? That's you. Take a good look. That's you.
He's good.
Oh, left wing. Number 12. He can skate. Oh, nobody stopped him. He's one damn good hockey player. He's gonna skate us out of our shoes.
Damn it, somebody's got to get that number 12 out of Billy's pads.
Booba. Oh, not me, my friend. He's too fast for me. I can't keep up with him.
I'll take him. I'll slow him down.
number 3, Jerry Miller. 2 minutes for roughing and 2 minutes for high sticking. Cougar penalty to number 12, Roger LeBlanc. 2 minutes for roughing. Time of both penalties, 6 minutes, 55 seconds.
Look, honey, we're in Green Bay on Thursday night. Maybe you can come up, huh? You can leave him with your sister. He's got a cold? Well, he'll be all right in 4 days. You all right, kid?
Why don't you shove it?
Yeah, you'll get yours, Miller.
What? Oh, nothing. No. Everything's fine. I had a good game tonight. Honey, please try to make it in Green Bay. I know. Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, that's right. Operator 6, Seattle. No, I don't know who's calling me. That's the only message I got, Operator 6. Miller, I'll be at this number. Thanks. Who the hell do I know in Seattle? All right, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Nothing. I haven't seen you for 6 weeks. You come all the way down from Wisconsin.
Let's just go to bed.
Come on, Sharon, what the hell is this?
You were doing it the whole game. You had 3 penalties. You hooked that defense man in the 3rd period. They didn't see that, or you would have had another one.
That's hockey. It's a violent game.
I've been watching hockey ever since I first started going with you. I know about forechecking and dumping the puck into the pit and going for it. I know where you sometimes have to foul a man to prevent a goal. But I never saw you deliberately...
I don't want to talk about it.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Nothing that has anything to do with you.
Well, I can't walk away and forget about it. You can put things into little boxes and keep them separate. You run that boy into the boards, hit him in the mouth, and you put your hand on me. And I'm supposed
Oh, that's great. That's just great.
How many years have I got left to play? Huh? If I don't make it back up in the league, next contract they give me, you can stick in your eye. It's a job. I do what I get paid to do, that's all. You don't like it, you don't have to watch.
That's a lot of crap, Jerry. I watched you play. I watched you hit and get hit. It never bothered me. I knew you were strong. I knew you could take it.
Then what the hell are you talking...
Will you let me talk? When I watched you in a game, hitting, checking, it would turn me on. I couldn't wait to get home in bed with you. I don't know, there was something different tonight.
That is the craziest damn thing I ever heard of. Nobody's gonna believe that. I get 8 minutes penalty time and you're gonna kick me out of bed.
Forget it, Jerry.
Yeah, this is Jerry Miller. Yeah. Dave! What the hell are you doing in Seattle? Huh? No. When? Well, how do you like that? They traded Dave to Seattle. No. Did you hear him say that? No, nobody told me anything. Well, that's great. That is great. Oh, she's here. She's fine. Dave says hello. Say hello to Carol for me. Yeah. Oh, you gonna call her now? Well, I won't hang you up. Yeah. Good luck, and, Dave, thank you for calling me about that. That is terrific. Yeah. Bye-bye. Oh, Bryant told Dave that they got to bring me back up. Miller is on the move.
Jerry.
Honey, you have got yourself an ace.
Are you gonna...
An ace on your hands.
Oh,
Penetrate, you know what I mean? Penetrate.
That stinks.
Yeah, that's what you call your horse slamming. I'm not kidding. I used to work the rocking hand. Horse come up lame before a race, we used to put some of this stuff on his fat or something.
Hey, Jerry, you see what Goldcross said in his column?
Yo.
After his return from the minors, Jerry Miller's fans are looking forward to the game against Seattle and his old friend Dave Eskenazi. Seattle bully boy Lou Rocco said that any Miller rough stuff will be returned with interest. Compound fracture interest.
Tell Miller, he said with a toothless smile. He wants to get physical. We'll be waiting for him.
Now, Rocco, try something, Jerry. You call county hospital. Some company's coming.
Yeah, tell him we'll put him up in the maternity ward with all the other loudmouths.
What else he say?
The regular bull deploring excessive violence. He gave Louis the shaft on defense. Said he looked like Fred Astaire forechecking Ginger Rogers.
Jerry, listen. That Rocco starts something, you cut him to pieces.
Get your program here. Jerry Miller, the penalty killer. Get your program here. Program. Right. Miller gets killer award tonight. Get your program here. Get your program.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce the Player of the Week. Since he came back up to the majors, he has fought his way into the hearts of all of us. Here he is, the Player of the Week, our own penalty killer, Jerry Miller. And Jerry, we have a special award for you. Presenting the award tonight is little Stevie Domelito, this year's Mr. Pee-wee Hockey. In honor of this year's record average of 6 minutes per game in the old calaboose and your single game record of 22 minutes, Jerry Miller, the first annual Ball and Chain Award. Assisted by number 16, Jim Cannon, and number 7, John Benet. Time of the goal, 14 minutes, 1 second. Goal. Number 6, Dave Eskenazi, assisted by number 15, Bud Burzin. Time of the goal, 13 minutes, 36 seconds.
Number 3, Wisconsin. Number 6, Seattle. 5 minutes each for fighting.
Wisconsin penalty to number 3, Jerry Miller. 5 minutes for fighting. Seattle penalty to number 6, Dave Eskenazi, 5 minutes for fighting. Time of both penalties, 12 minutes, 56 seconds.
No, he can't come to the phone right now. He's asleep. No, I haven't talked to Carol Eskenazi. Look, you're going to have to call the team office in the morning. I just can't talk about anything right now. Yeah.
That was long distance. From New York. Says he was from Sports Illustrated. Jerry, you want an ice bag?
No.
Well, I think you maybe ought to put something on it. How about a heating pad?
No.
Carol flew in from Seattle. That's what he said, anyway. Hey, how would he know that all the way in New York? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Last time we were in Seattle, Dave damn near took Jack Duvall's eye out with a stick.
Ruptured spleen. What does that mean?
I don't know. They'll operate, I guess. That damn Polak, he's tough as nails. I'm telling you, he put me into the boards. I can still feel it. Hey, easy, easy.
Hello? Yes. This is Sharon Miller. Look, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's Mr. Feeney from the team office. Yes, they've been calling all night from the TV station, and... No, Jerry didn't say anything.
Yeah, Mr. Feeney? No. No, just Charlie Goldcross from the Dispatch-Times. Some dummy let him in the locker room. Well, what do you expect me to do? Run out in the alley in my jock? What do you mean, my attitude? All I told him was that I hope Dave's okay, and that's hockey, some crap like that. Mr. Feeney, I can't do that. I can't go to the hospital. What am I going to say to him? What do you mean, image? Yeah, all right, all right. You sent flowers already. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute, Mr. Feeney, I don't understand. You're going to pay the automatic fine, $300, You gonna bill me for the flowers? Mr. Finney, are they gonna operate on Dave? He's gonna be okay, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Finney. They're gonna charge me for the flowers. What the hell's the matter with them? $300 for the fine. They'll pay that, and they charge me $20 for the flowers.
Yeah, what about Dave? Is there anything new?
I don't know. Gotta go to the hospital tomorrow. 10 o'clock. They say that it's good public relations.
I got the thing racked up on both. You'll be able to see all the tapes, all the angles.
Let me just
Right
ask you
across the
this.
room. Yeah.
Does the tape definitely show the time was called?
Oh, yeah. Michelet was offside. We got a wide angle on the line tape. You can see the linesman pick up the puck before Miller starts. And we got it on audio, too. Here it is. Got it? We have it on line and ISO. We have it on ISO here. Charlie, let me have slow-mo. Okay, here it comes. Watch the stick. Freeze it, Charlie.
Can you go forward and after Eskenazi goes down? Well, what do you do with these tapes? You don't erase them?
Not until the end of the season. Well, sometimes we make up a special out of it. You know, highlights. Last year we won a regional Emmy. Took the best stuff, fights, checks, stuff like that. Edited in with Tchaikovsky ballet music. We wanted to call it Nutcracker Suite, but couldn't get it past standards of practices.
We'll want these tapes. You'll get a subpoena from my office in the morning. Thank you, Mr. Walters.
Don't mention it. Marvin, you know who was just in here? Horace Meade. Meade, the district attorney, for God's sake.
They said it was all right outside. I'm Jerry Miller. I'm an old friend of his.
Mrs. Watson, 4291. Mrs. Watson, 4291.
Stay with me.
I just saw Dave. He's hanging in there.
You better go back to the locker room.
What's the matter?
Amy wants to see you.
What, now? For a game?
Look, I don't know anything about it. Go.
Hey, Jerry! What is this? The buzzer's gonna go in 5 minutes.
I know. Look, we want to handle this with the least trouble.
Handle what?
Jerry Miller.
Yeah?
I'm Detective Forsher. This is Detective Halverson. We're assigned to District Attorney Meade's office.
Yeah?
This is the damnedest thing I ever heard of. I don't know why this couldn't wait until after the Louisville game.
I don't understand.
Got a warrant for your arrest. Charges aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Deadly weapon, hockey stick. You know, Eskenazi knew what he was getting himself into when he put on his skates. He isn't going to file any complaint.
No, I guess not.
What happened?
Eskenazi died at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Mr. Meade will have an amended indictment before arraignment tomorrow for manslaughter. You better get changed. You're gonna have to go with us.
Now, Jerry, don't worry about a thing. I want to go up to Bill Cairns' box between periods and tell him. I mean, the whole thing's crazy. Bill Cairns is a very important man. You got nothing to worry about. Look, you just don't say anything, you know. The club lawyer will be down tonight or tomorrow morning to talk to you. Now, we'll handle everything at this end. We'll issue a strong statement of support. And as soon as the whole thing's straightened out and the suspension's lifted, you'll be able to play.
What do you mean, suspension?
Well, naturally, you'll be suspended.
Why? Why should I be suspended?
Look, Jerry, it's the league. The club wouldn't have anything to do with it. Now, don't worry. I mean, the club will have a bail bond out right away.
Why should the league suspend me?
Well, what do you expect the league to do? I mean, they'll have a serious media problem.
I'm innocent until I'm proved guilty, right?
Right.
Then why shouldn't I play?
Look, Jerry, be reasonable. We're in this together, right?
Mr. Feeney. What are you talking about?
Look, Jerry, the club will continue you on salary. I'll guarantee it. If Cairns okays it. I mean, look, Cairns is a very honorable man. I mean, you got nothing to worry about. He's loyal. He's going to back you all the way. You got nothing to worry about. Believe me, nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to say that Bill Cairns, president of the club, has agreed to say a few words to the members of the press. Bill?
Naturally, we extend our sympathy to Dave Eskenazi's family. He was...
Lights.
As I say, we extend our sympathy to Dave Eskenazi's family. He was a tough competitor. He could dish it out and he could take it. And he was a real American. Now, we are going to stand... Dave was a real Canadian, actually, but it's the same thing. We're going to stand behind Jerry here all the way. He always gave out 100%, and we're going to give him 100% right back.
You said earlier that violence was an accepted part of the game of hockey.
Well, Kenny, what I said was that hockey, like football or boxing, has the element of physical confrontation between athletes. It'd be ridiculous to treat it the same as, say, two fellas in a fight in a bar.
Are you claiming that the law doesn't apply to sports events?
I'm not claiming anything.
Well, excuse me. I think what Mr. Cairns is trying to say is that in contact sports, there's a certain risk involved that's assumed by the competitor.
You mean it's legal, Mr. Fowler, to spear a man in the gut as long as it's part of the game?
Well, as an attorney, Ms. Converse, I'd remind you that questions of fact will come before the jury if, of course, this matter ever gets to a jury. I don't think we should comment any further on the legal aspects of this case.
What about you, Jerry? Don't you think you're being made into a scapegoat?
Jerry?
Hockey's been awful good to me, and I wouldn't want to do anything to hurt the game.
Problem is, Bill, your man bashed Eskenazi in the head and he subsequently died.
What the hell side are you on?
Well, the point is, we're committed to defending Miller. We're married to him.
When this thing is over, I'm going to trade his butt to Alaska, dumb Canuck.
American.
What?
Miller, he's not a Canadian. He's born in Glens Falls, New York.
Shut up, Feeney. What do you think I could get for the franchise?
No point going that far.
Never mind. What did that hamburger guy in San Diego offer last year?
$9 million.
Wish I could unload it right now.
Now, Bill.
I know. Take a couple more years to get maximum tax write-offs on the depreciation of the player contract. Where's that limousine, Feeney?
No, I called 15 minutes.
What can we do about that district attorney?
Horace Meade, what'd you have in mind? A season ticket?
What's his point? What does he want? Governor, senator, what?
I don't know, but it doesn't seem to me that indicting the key defense man on the hometown hockey team is the conventional way of seeking popularity.
Damn it, how can you trust a man when you can't figure out what he wants?
Well, possibly something can be arranged.
Well, damn well better be soon. TV contract comes up in 6 weeks. Gus Mahler called me. He's very upset. Doesn't want his lousy beer associated in the public mind with violence. How about that? Old man Mahler ran his brewery all through Prohibition in partnership with Al Capone, and he's worried about violence.
Yeah, what I'm worried about is Jerry Miller. There's the limo.
What are you talking about, Feeney?
He's very upset about being suspended. I mean, this whole thing has to be handled very delicately. I mean, for the good of the sport.
We told him we stand behind him 100%, didn't we?
Yeah, but he's
Well, then.
Yeah, but don't worry about Miller. I'll have one of the lads from my office babysitting with him. He'll be fine.
Touche at the point. A terrific slap shot.
Steve! Steve!
Jerry, listen. While Bill Cairns, owner of the club, said that Jerry Miller is a fine athlete and a real competitor.
He maneuvers. He's dick-handed.
Did you hear that?
What, Dad?
Commenting on the indictment handed down by the grand jury, Cairns said,
And another save. Keep moving. Gotta keep moving. That's the name of the game.
You want to hear what he said?
Yeah, but, just hold it.
Eddie, you want to come upstairs and clean up your room now?
Oh, Mom, I'm in the playoffs.
Sounds like a very nice man.
Eddie!
I remember once hearing him on TV where he said he was 100% behind you. You hear that?
I was there, Pop.
Daddy!
Eddie, we'll play later, all right?
Cairns is a big man in this town. Got all those concrete mixers. Transmit mix, they're called.
Transit.
Oh, whatever. The ones that say Cairns and Company, that's him.
I know, Pop. Listen. I'm glad you came over this afternoon.
What else was I gonna do? Son of mine is in some kind of trouble. What should I do, stay away?
I know, Pop, but I don't want to talk about it in front of Eddie.
Oh, yeah, well, I can understand that, sure. I mean, what the hell is it? A hockey game. When you get right down to it. And the important thing is, well, you shouldn't let it throw you. Just go on like it isn't happening.
How the hell am I going to do that? I've been suspended.
That's not going to stick. They need you, Jerry. Who else are they going to get to kill penalties?
Pop, you don't understand.
Well, you tell me. Tell me, who have they got? Fanichel? Stick checks like an old woman. Jerry, they gotta lift that suspension. Just don't worry. It's one thing I can tell you, it's worth the trip over here. Don't worry.
Pop, a lawyer is coming here this afternoon.
You tell me when they ever did anything to an athlete. That ball player, what's his name? He actually shot somebody in a motel, and he was playing the next season.
Pop, you're not facing the reality of the situation. They've indicted me.
That's a lot of crap. Everybody says so. The important thing is you've got us. You've got your family. You got the fans. The fans are great in this town. They really support the club.
Pop, they've arrested me. They could try me for murder.
Don't you say a thing like that, Jerry. You've got to keep a positive attitude.
Pop, shut up. Just shut up.
The only reason I stopped by here today is because I thought a man needs his family at a time like this.
I know that, Pop. And I appreciate it.
Mr. Miller?
Yeah? What can I do for you?
I'm George Graff, of Fowler, Cunningham, Parker, and Klein. I'm your lawyer.
No. I mean, they said the club lawyer would take care of me, Fowler.
Well, I'm an associate of Mr. Fowler's. He can't possibly handle every matter personally.
Look, he's my lawyer, Fowler. Well, I want my lawyer. What are they sending me? I mean, what the hell kind of lawyer are you?
Well, I assure you, I am a lawyer, admitted to the bar and everything. Look, Mr. Miller, you know, the partners in a large firm very rarely do the preliminary work themselves. Most of the time, they don't even make court appearances.
Jerry.
Huh? Oh, come on in. This is my wife, Sharon.
How do you do?
Hi.
My father. This is Mr.
Graff, George Graff.
He's my lawyer.
Well, why don't we all go? Sit down.
You a veteran?
I beg your pardon?
I thought you might be a veteran.
No. I'm afraid it was congenital. Hip malformation.
Pop, you want to help me in the living room?
Huh?
Pop.
Oh, well, I guess the first thing would be background. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions that may seem...
He's a hell of a lawyer for an athlete.
Listen, you want to go outside? Get some air?
Yeah, sure.
My father, he's an avid hockey fan, you know, and, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do. You know, I've been to a few of the games myself this season. I must have watched you play about a dozen times.
Yeah?
You know, it's funny. You watch athletes, particularly on television. You actually get the feeling that you know them. You can see their faces so clearly. Faces contorted with effort. You see their pain and their frustration. It creates the illusion that you're out there with them. That you can actually understand what they're feeling. But of course you don't.
You were always interested in hockey?
Oh, yeah. You know, Jerry, one thing never made any sense to me. Why they sent you down to the minors last season.
Damn well didn't make any sense to me either. But to tell you the truth, I mean the truth. As a hockey player, I'm pretty run-of-the-mill. I'm all right. I can skate. But I haven't got the best slap shot in the league. And I have this tendency to circle to the left. That's my strong side. You know the sign they hang out in the balcony?
The penalty killer.
Yeah, I got that all wrong. Penalty killer is the guy you put on defense when you're a man short against a power play. What I am is a member of the goon squad. That's what I am. A goon.
Horace, how can my man possibly get a fair trial in an atmosphere like this?
The judge will rule on all pre-trial publicity. It's not my responsibility.
Horace, where's your sense of proportion? People enjoy hockey and pro football. It's entertainment, vicarious violence, catharsis, cleansing. It's the moral equivalent of war.
I don't think that's what William James had in mind.
Now, you can't change human nature.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to enforce the criminal statutes of the state.
No, we said a man who would eat kidneys for lunch is a fanatic. Now, you know damn well there's always been fighting in hockey. Then why are you suddenly jumping on this one boy?
Because he committed a homicide in my jurisdiction.
Horace, Bill Cairns is anxious to settle this quickly and neatly. Oh, come on, don't start taking umbrage. Jerry Miller's not a risk to society. He's not going to suddenly mug some old lady in a hallway.
I know that, Bert. I know. Let me tell you about a conviction we got today. A 17-year-old boy, an addict. He stomped a 68-year-old woman to death for $7.38.
Exactly, then what?
Now, I know all the extenuating circumstances in that case. I know all the sociological and the psychological reasons for diminished responsibility. Low normal intelligence, severe emotional deprivation as a child, and he needed a fix. I know all that. He's going up for 20 to life. Why? Because there's an unwritten contract with all the people who don't beat up on old ladies that they won't get punished, and the ones who do will.
Morris, I know the philosophy of criminal justice, but this just is not the same kind of thing.
Yes, but it is. It was a homicide. Now, should I let Jerry Miller walk because Bill Cairns is a millionaire and professional hockey is big business?
I thought I was having lunch with a politician, not a character out of Antigone.
Waiter.
Morris. Morris, do you have any objection if I get together with one of the boys from your office about a plea?
Well, that'll be all right.
Well, Meade, go along with the deal?
I've got Morty's word.
Suppose we ought to check it with the league office.
League? What the hell have they got to do with it?
Mr. Fowler,
What is it, Graff?
I don't think our client quite understands what's being proposed.
Of course, if Jerry has any questions.
I don't get the whole thing.
All right, I'll go over it again. We've been able to arrange a compromise with the district attorney's office. That's called plea bargaining. He'll agree to drop the manslaughter count and accept a plea of simple assault. Actually, it's a very good deal.
Now, wait a minute. What do I do?
Well, you'll enter a guilty plea, of course.
Guilty?
There's no trial. Nobody has to say anything. It's all neat and clean.
What about sentencing? Has there been an agreement on sentencing, Mr. Fowler?
Well, Graff, you know Judge Reinhardt doesn't get involved in sentencing arrangements, but the DA will recommend probation. And with no prior record, there's no reason the judge won't go along.
But the judge isn't bound by the prosecutor's recommendation.
No, but in a case like this...
So we can't guarantee anything.
Yes, that's true. We want you to understand the situation in its entirety, Jerry. The statute allows 7 to 15 years, but in a case like this, the very worst, I've never heard of anything more than 1 to 3.
You mean prison? That's what that means? 1 to 3 years in prison?
Not exactly. You'd have to serve 2/3 of the minimum. That's 8 months.
That's just great. You do 8 months in prison, not me.
No, Jerry, you gotta look at it sensibly.
Fella, we're trying to help you. What, by having me plead guilty?
No, Jerry, it's the only sensible thing to do, Jerry.
Boo-hoo! What happens to my family after I'm in prison, huh? And what do I do after? The league will ban me for life, right? Can't get a job in a sporting goods company or anything? I can't get a job coaching in school or anything? No! No, at least I want a fighting chance.
Listen, wait a minute. You're a fool.
I want to tell you. All right. What do you think?
Well, let me assure you, this is the only way to go.
What he thinks. All right, what do you think, Mr. Graff? Do I have to do what they say?
Only if you want to.
All right. Suppose I don't. Do I have a chance?
No, that's the whole point. There's a prima
I asked him! Is there a defense you can make that'll give me a chance?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, Graff. It took 4 hours to set up that plea with Kovacs.
You didn't tell me anything about it.
Yeah, well, I'm still the senior member of this firm.
Yes, sir, I know.
And don't you ever contradict me in front of a client.
I didn't contradict you, Mr. Fowler. Miller asked me if there was a defense. Well, there are a lot of defenses. Mens rea, for one. You show that there was no criminal intent. You make the point that hockey encouraged him to be violent, that the league and the team are equally culpable. Miller's not personally responsible.
Has it occurred to you that Bill Cairns and the team are important clients of this office?
Oh, yes, sir. But I thought we were representing Jerry Miller in this matter.
Well, of course we are. And it's the opinion of Fowler, Cunningham, Parker, and Klein that his interests are being served by taking that plea.
I don't think so, sir. Not if he doesn't want to.
You know, young man, these are not exactly boom times in the legal profession, and you're lucky to have this job in the first place. I might expect a little loyalty.
Don't you think it's against the canon of ethics to sacrifice one client for another?
No, there was never any intention of doing anything of the sort.
Well, an outside observer might conclude that there was. if Miller wanted to plead innocent but was stopped from doing it because it would be bad publicity for the team.
Are you suggesting that this privileged communication become public?
It's only privileged as long as Jerry Miller wants it to be.
Well, that's a moot point anyway, because Miller will remain a client of this office. And Graff, to avoid any questions, I'll assign you sole responsibility for his defense. You can handle it any way he see fit. I hope you do it brilliantly. You're going to need that when you apply to other law firms for a job.
Mr. Merritt, you've seen the tape offered in evidence. Now, the linesman blew his whistle. Play had stopped. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Was there any reason for any violent contact between two players in the normal sense of a hockey match?
No, sir. Time was up.
And, could you see Jerry Miller at that time?
Yes, sir.
What did you see him do?
Well, he skated up to Eskenazi and, he speared him.
Objection, Your Honor. That calls for conclusion by the witness.
I'm simply asking the witness to testify to what he
Your
saw.
Honor, in the word speared in hockey parlance means an intent, a purposeful act, and that involves a conclusion. The witness could not possibly know what was on Jerry Miller's mind.
Sustained. Would you rephrase, Mr. Meade? The jury will disregard the word speared.
Mr. Merritt, you saw Miller skating towards the deceased, am I right?
Yes, sir.
And you saw the hockey stick held in Miller's hand, is that right?
Yes, sir.
As we've already seen several times in the tape, the stick was out in front of Miller as he approached.
Yes, sir.
And what happened then?
He, hit him with the stick, about here.
Witness indicates the abdomen below the rib cage. And what did you see Miller do then?
He jumped on him, hit him in the head several times.
And then what did you do, Mr. Merritt?
I tried to pull Miller off.
Thank you, Mr. Merritt. Your witness.
Mr. Merritt, you've been a hockey official for a number of years?
Yes, sir, since 1968 in this league.
Well, in the course of your duties, have you ever had occasion to see hockey players fight during a match?
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't it be fair to say that fist fights are common in the sport of professional hockey?
Well, yes, sir, it's a contact sport.
You've answered, Mr. Merritt. Now, on the night of January 7th, at 10:17 of the second period, you assessed a penalty against Jerry Miller and Dave Eskenazi. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what was that penalty for?
Fighting.
Fighting. Both men had dropped their gloves and were punching at one another.
Yes, sir.
What kind of penalty did you call?
It's a 5-minute penalty.
Only 5 minutes. Mr. Merritt, will you tell us what Rule 44 is in the official league rule book?
44, that calls for a match penalty for deliberately trying to injure a player.
Match penalty, that means being thrown out of the game, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't throw Miller and Eskenazi out of the game. You merely gave them 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a judgment call.
So it was your judgment that two professional athletes in top physical condition, punching at one another with bare knuckles, were not deliberately trying to injure each other.
Well, not in the sense of Rule 44.
As a matter of fact, even later, after Eskenazi had been disabled, you didn't call Rule 44 against Jerry Miller then either, did you?
No, sir. I threw him out of the game on a game misconduct.
So you didn't consider in your judgment, that Miller was deliberately trying to injure Eskenazi? You couldn't have because you didn't invoke Rule 44.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Graff is answering his own questions. I suggest he allow the witness to answer. He was asked if he judged that Miller deliberately tried to injure Eskenazi.
You did ask the question, Mr. Graff. The witness will answer.
Yeah. I thought he was deliberately trying to injure him.
But you didn't invoke Rule 44.
No, we used game misconduct.
Why not? Did someone tell you not to use it? Is it league policy?
No.
Now, let me see if I have this straight. There's a rule against one player deliberately trying to injure another. Only you and the other league officials rarely, if ever, invoke that rule.
Well, you can't call it every time.
In fact, you never call it.
Not never.
Well, hardly ever. Thank you, Mr. Merritt.
Maybe I made a hell of a mistake. Maybe I should have taken the deal and pleaded guilty.
Well, I can talk to Meade, see if it's still open.
What do you think?
I think this is the worst time for any trial. Meade had his chance. We haven't had our chance yet.
You know what the damn thing is? You get all wound up, you know? Like when this first happened, I got peed off because the club charged me for flowers. And then I got sore because they suspended me. I didn't even think what really happened until I got sore at my father and hollered at him. Dave Eskenazi's dead. I forgot Dave is dead. That's a hell of a note. I mean, he was about my best friend. And there's nothing in this whole damn trial about that. When I went to the hospital, I wanted him to understand. You know, I wanted him to tell me it was all right.
Did he say anything? Did he tell you you weren't to blame? That was all part of hockey?
Why?
If someone overheard it, a nurse, anyone, it might help.
No, he was all doped up.
Did he say anything?
He said it hurts.
Anything else? What did you say to him?
Well, nothing. What the hell could I say? Just kept thinking to myself, damn, you say something to me. I was angry. I was sore at Dave. He had it made, you know. He had talent. He didn't have to be a goon. All he had to do was play hockey.
Look, Jerry, you're going to be up on that stand. So it's very important that you listen to what I say. Dave Eskenazi died, but that doesn't mean that you're legally responsible for his death. You've got to remember that.
It's easy for you. You're going to make a big name for yourself or something. Be the star performer.
You asked me if you had to plead, and I said it was up to you. You asked me if there was a defense, and I said there was.
Aren't you up the creek with your boss for this? You'll probably get fired, huh?
Probably.
Why the hell'd you do it?
I don't know. I saw them shuffling you around. There wasn't anybody defending you. And that just isn't the way the game is supposed to be played. Mr. Feeney, as executive secretary of the team organization, all press releases must clear through you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I ask you to look at this paper, please. Can you identify it for us?
Yes, sir. It's a copy of a press release on club stationery.
I'd like to offer this in evidence, Your Honor.
Defendant's Exhibit A, Mark.
I have a copy for you, Mr. Meade. Mr. Feeney, I'd like to read you a passage.
Your Honor, may I approach the bench? Henry, he can't do that. He's getting ready to cross-examine his own witness.
Your Honor, you know what my defense is. Now, he is a part of hockey. Now, do you want me to go through the whole business of demonstrating he's a hostile witness?
Meade?
I don't like it.
Look, it'll take us all afternoon. Now, you know he's hostile to my client's interests.
I'll rule him hostile if you don't object, Meade.
All right.
Mr. Feeney, I'd like to read you a passage from this release. Keeping a promise to fans to build a brawling, hard-nosed, physical hockey team in the new image, Wild Bill Cairns today called Jerry Miller the penalty killer. Killer is underlined, I note. My kind of hockey player. Fans who like their hamburger raw are looking forward to a Jerry Miller in action. Since our boys have adopted the Philadelphia story, they've jumped 10 points in the standings, and attendance at the arena is up a healthy 20%. That's a heady piece of literature. Did you write that, Mr. Feeney?
No, I did not.
But but you cleared it for release.
Yes, I did.
Fans who like their hamburger raw. Well, I guess they got it. It goes on. Since our boys have adopted the Philadelphia story. Now, what is the Philadelphia story, Mr. Feeney?
That was an old movie with Katharine Hepburn.
Yes, I know. Now, would it be fair to say that the Philadelphia story means a kind of hockey that depends on violence and intimidation?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
Oh, you wouldn't. Well, maybe I can suggest somebody to you who would. Quoted from an issue of Sports Illustrated magazine. Quote, "It makes sense to try and take out a guy who's more important to his team than I am to mine. If I take out Brad Park, well, that's not a bad trade, is it?" Dave Schultz, formerly with the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, wouldn't you say, Mr. Feeney, that that reflects a Philadelphia style of play?
I don't know.
But now, we come to the bottom line. Attendance in the arena is up a healthy 20%. That is true, Mr. Feeney?
It is.
Wouldn't it be fair to say that there's a large profit to be made in violent hockey, that there's a lot of money in raw hamburger?
The club's playing better hockey. The fans appreciate it.
Have you ever considered, Mr. Feeney, that there might be more profit in booking the arena on a Saturday night and throwing real Christians to real lions?
Objection, Your Honor. That's going too far.
Counselor, you've been allowed a great latitude, but I do think that you've wandered a little too far.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Neither do I.
The policy of the League is to deal very firmly with fighting and acts of extreme violence.
And as League President, you are charged with carrying out that policy.
I am?
Mr. McLeod, how many men have been suspended this season for fighting?
I believe 3.
3. And yet you've heard testimony indicating that fighting occurs in almost every game on the schedule.
I think that's an exaggeration. Just a pushing match or a scuffle gets blown up out of all proportion.
Mr. McLeod, are you familiar with the McMurtry report on violence in hockey as prepared for the Ontario Ministry?
I believe the correct title of that is Investigation and Inquiry into Violence in Amateur Hockey. Yes, I have read it.
Well, have you read this passage? Quote, "The evidence strongly indicates that there is a conscious effort to sell violence in hockey to enrich a small group of show business entrepreneurs at the expense of a great sport." Well, Mr. McLeod?
What's the question, Mr. Graff?
Did you read this passage?
Yes, sir, I have.
And did you agree with it?
No, sir, I do not.
Mr. McLeod, now don't you think it's about time that hockey stopped pandering to our basest instincts? The lust to see blood and the inflicting of pain?
No, sir. We've always tried to balance the aspects of the game. There's a new rule going into force directly aimed at restricting excessive violence.
Oh, yes, the new rule. Well, let me see. You made a comment on the new rule in the League magazine January issue. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said, quote, "The purpose of the new rule is not to eliminate fighting."
The quote goes on to say that it's aimed at curbing vicious attacks and other violent acts.
Oh, yes, but it's very carefully framed, not to eliminate fighting. Now, wouldn't you say that that encourages violence as a saleable commodity, blood and suffering for profit?
Objection, Your Honor. That calls for a conclusion by the witness.
Yes, if there is a question there, Mr. Graff, you'll have to rephrase it.
No, Your Honor, I'll withdraw it. I have no further questions of this witness.
I have only 1 or 2 questions. I find Mr. Graff is covering my ground rather thoroughly. Mr. McLeod, you don't think that athletes are above the law, do you? I mean, wouldn't you say that if a crime is committed, it doesn't matter whether it takes place in the arena or in an alley outside?
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Meade is trying to make the witness comment on a matter of guilt or innocence. The question's totally improper, argumentative, and...
Enough, Mr. Graff. Sustained.
I withdraw it. Thank you, Mr. McLeod. That's all.
Jerry, when you were called into Coach Bryant's office, he said he was sending you down to Moline. Now, that's a minor league team. Did he tell you why?
He said I wasn't pulling my weight.
Did he give you any example of how you weren't playing satisfactorily?
The only thing he said was that I didn't fight with Art Gosling the night before.
What happened then?
Well, I was pretty sore about it. And I talked with a friend on the team about it. And we both knew that I'd never be a leading scorer or anything. So he said I should give them what they want.
And what did you understand that to mean?
Come on strong, be physical, be the enforcer, the goon squad.
And who was this friend on the team?
Dave Eskenazi.
Now, Jerry, after you got to Moline, did you do anything to change your style of play?
Yeah, well, you know, I was the enforcer. Like when we're playing a team and one of them has a hot streak, I sucker him, draw him into a fight, rough him up, lay it on him. Next time he's gonna flinch. He's gonna be one stride late going down for a pass. You intimidate him.
Was this style of play successful?
Oh yeah, they brought me up from the minors before the playoffs last year.
And did the team refer to you in any of its publicity at this time?
The PR man gave me a nickname, the penalty killer. Now that's not right. Penalty killer is something else. I told him about that, and he said, well, the goon squad doesn't have as much charisma as killer.
And were you ever punished by the team for this type of play?
No, they gave me a raise. One game, they even gave me an award for having the highest penalty time. It was sort of a joke. They gave me a ball and chain.
Jerry, if you weren't the enforcer, the goon squad, would you have a job on the team?
Objection, Your Honor. That calls for the witness to testify to the operation of somebody else's mind. The decision about who is on the team is made by the management.
I think he has a point, Mr. Graham.
Your Honor, the question speaks to the witness's perception of the situation.
Perhaps you can make that clear.
Yes. Jerry, what was your understanding?
You mean about my job? Well, I figure it depended on my being the enforcer.
Could you explain that? How did you feel about that?
Well, I've always played hockey, and the contact part, the hitting and the checking, that never bothered me. It was all right, I guess. But I don't particularly get a kick out of beating up people.
So you're separating the physical contact of actually playing the game with the violence of fighting and excessive hitting for intimidation.
Yeah, playing tough, hard hockey is one thing, and fighting, all that, that's something else.
How did you feel about the extra illegal violence outside the rules?
I don't know. There's some risk. You can get hurt yourself. The other teams go for you.
But you never felt that it was wrong.
No, that's just the way it is.
It was expected of you.
Yeah, that's what you get paid for. It's a big business.
Right. Now, Jerry, let's talk about the fight with Dave Eskenazi on the night of January 7th. Now, you said before that you knew Eskenazi, I mean off the ice.
Yes, that's right. We came out of the senior amateur together.
You knew each other socially, and your wives were friends.
Yes, they were friends.
Now, when you got out of the minors, Eskenazi had been traded to another team. Now, did he say anything to you at that time?
Yeah, he said, you start stuff with me, you get it right back, just like that.
What do you think he meant by that? What did you understand it to mean?
Well, on the ice, it didn't matter if you were friends. You just play hockey.
That's the way it was. No quarter.
Yes, sir. And that first game, Dave checked me right into the rails.
You mean the goal pipes?
Yes, sir.
Now, Jerry, on the night of January 7th, there were actually 2 fights between you and Dave Eskenazi. Now, how did the first fight start?
Dave started that one. I checked him hard to keep him away from the goal, and he got his gloves off and started swinging.
So Eskenazi started that fight?
Yes, sir.
Were you angry at Dave Eskenazi then?
Well, yes and no. I mean, when you're playing hockey and you get hit and you get hurt, you get angry right then. Now, it doesn't seem to make any sense because you know it's only a game. But you're all psyched up. And the adrenaline's pumping, and know if that makes any sense.
It makes sense. Now, Jerry, after you got out of the penalty box, what happened next?
Well, Dave got me in a crackback check against the boards. I mean, a real shot.
Then what happened?
Well, I went after him the same way he started after me.
But it wasn't the same.
No.
Jerry, when you skated toward Dave Eskenazi, where was your hockey stick?
I don't know. I don't know. I was still dizzy from being checked into the boards, and you just hang on to your stick. It's like an instinct.
I see. So at that moment, you had no intention of spearing him?
No, I didn't.
Jerry, when you skated that last 10 yards and crashed into Dave Eskenazi, what was on your mind?
Nothing. I heard from the check, and that's all.
You were just going about your job as a hockey player?
Yeah.
You were responding by fighting, the way Eskenazi had responded to you earlier in the game?
Yes, sir.
Because that's the way hockey is played.
Yes, sir.
Your employer expected it of you.
Yes, sir.
And the crowd of 14,733 paid, including District Attorney Horace Meade and his son, expected it of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jerry. That's all.
Mr. Miller, I had prepared a long list of questions skillfully designed to bring out your reputation and record as a bully, a dirty player given to fouling and other acts of violence outside the accepted rules of hockey. But Mr. Graff has brought all that out on direct examination.
Your Honor, Mr. Meade is supposed to be making a cross-examination, not making his summation.
Mr. Graff, considering the latitude you've enjoyed, I don't think you have much complaint. However, Mr. Meade, let's have the questions you are going to ask, not the ones you're not going to.
Of course, Your Honor. Mr. Miller, you've testified that after you and David Eskenazi came out of the penalty box, you clashed again.
Yes, sir. It was a cheap shot. The puck was way down at the other end of the rink.
But that check was during the play of the game. There was no penalty given Eskenazi for that action, was there?
No, but...
It was, in fact, a legal part of the hockey game.
Yes.
Now, after the whistle blew, stopping play, you skated deliberately towards Eskenazi.
Yes, sir.
With your hockey stick out in front of you? Isn't that right?
I explained that.
Just answer my question. You had your hockey stick in your hand out in front of you.
Yes.
And you slammed into David Eskenazi with all your force. Isn't that what you testified to?
Yes.
And your hockey stick went into his lower abdomen, under his rib cage, and perforated his spleen.
I didn't know I speared him.
And then, with Dave Eskenazi down on the ice, defenseless, you jumped on him and struck him in the head again and again.
No, it's not like that.
I think that's exactly what it's like. Mr. Miller, you went after Dave Eskenazi, not only in violation of the law, but even of the admittedly feeble rules of hockey. You intended to injure him, and you ended up killing him.
No, I mean, that's not what I intended.
Are you saying you didn't have in mind assaulting David Eskenazi? Are you telling us that you skated those 10 yards with your hockey stick out ahead of you to kiss and make up? Is that what you want this jury to believe?
No.
Well, isn't it the truth that in a game which is violent at best and which has grown vicious in the scramble for profit, you are a hired bully, a strong-arm man, a goon, a hatchet man? You are paid to beat men, to fight, to spill blood, anything to win, inside the law or out. Isn't that what you are, Mr. Miller?
Objection, Your Honor. The district attorney is making a flagrant attempt to inflame the jury. Now, that question is argumentative and totally improper.
I think it is. Sustained. The jury will disregard Mr. Meade's last remarks. Now, I don't want this to happen again, gentlemen.
I apologize, Your Honor. I don't think I have to ask any further questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, We lawyers have a doctrine that we talk about. We say it in Latin. Mens rea, the things of the mind. Now, a death, the fact of that death, does not necessarily mean that a crime has been committed. The question is, was there criminal intent? Was the state of mind of the accused such that he intended to violate the law? Now, Jerry Miller is a professional athlete. He's a hockey player. And we've heard testimony to the effect that the league, the owners, the newspapers, the television interests, not only tolerated violence in the sport, but praised it highly. Jerry Miller was sent down to Moline because his coach said openly, "I don't want any guy on my team who doesn't fight back when he's pushed around." Well, he learned. He learned what was expected of a professional hockey player. He fought. He fought to keep his job, to support his wife and child, and he fought to play hockey. The only trade he'd ever learned to do well in his entire life. Now, Mr. Meade will probably tell you something that you already know. That ignorance of the law is no excuse, but that's not what we're talking about here. Now, the question is not one of a legal mistake. What we're talking about is the very reasonable assumption in the mind of Jerry Miller that what he was doing was perfectly legitimate. This city honored him. Our respected citizens cheered him. On the night of the tragic death, District Attorney Horace Meade and his son were there. We all said, "Way to go, Jerry, baby, way to go. Go get him." Well, he did his job. And on the night of January 7th, the dragon's teeth came up. Dave Eskenazi was fatally injured and died. And that was a tragedy. But the question is, was there criminal intent in the mind of Jerry Miller? Now, see if you don't think this is what happened. He was doing the job that was expected of him. A job that supported his family. A job that was understood, approved, and applauded by our society. We taught Jerry Miller how to act. In his mind was the license given to him by all of us to act out our darkest fantasies. Now, there was a sad tragedy. A man died, the result of a sick and twisted fascination on our part with danger and with violence. As far as Jerry is concerned, there was a tragedy, but no crime. Oh, there may, in the larger sense, be guilt, callous exploiters of other men's pain, a public appetite for blood, and a sick and decadent fascination with violence and with pain, in literature, in the movies, on television, and in sports. But here, in this courtroom, in the narrow matter of Jerry Miller's guilt, I think the decision is clear to all of us. I think you'll conclude Jerry Miller is innocent of criminal intent. He is therefore innocent of this charge.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the judge instructs you on the law, he will define for you the crimes of manslaughter and assault with a deadly weapon. Now, Mr. Graff, trying desperately to find a defense for a client, suggests that he is above the law because of his profession as an athlete, that there are extenuating circumstances. But there are always extenuating circumstances. We have heard them many times in this courtroom. That the defendant is poor, that the defendant is uneducated, that the defendant is discriminated against, that the defendant is of low mentality. All of these have been used as a defense. And now, we are hearing about a new concept, that the defendant is a professional athlete. Mr. Graff has described with understandable distaste the growing license in professional hockey for violence, for blood. Therefore, he says we cannot hold this defendant responsible. But isn't the world of hockey, like the world around us, sinking into violence and hypocrisy? And don't you agree that in professional sports, as in our world, a line must be drawn Men and women are responsible for their acts? That is the meaning of justice? A crime has been committed. There must be a conviction and punishment. Now, that is what you must consider, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you face the inescapable conclusion that Jerry Miller is guilty as charged.
They said it won't be long.
You all right?
Yeah, fine. Fine. I know everything's gonna be all right. Hey, Jer, these other players, you know, in Canada and Minneapolis, they were all acquitted.
They didn't have a district attorney running for St. Francis of Assisi.
Yeah, but they can't really... I mean, talking about it as if it's just a crime. They understand that it was hockey. And it's a violent game.
You remember what you said when I was down in Moline? That there was something different about the way I played? That it didn't turn you on? You remember that?
Yeah.
You were the only one. Turned everybody else on. He's right, Meade. What kind of a man can do a thing like that? You con yourself, and you say, it's not me.
It isn't, Jerry. It really isn't.
That was me out there on that ice. I did it. I'm the kind of a man who can do that. Now, that's the truth. I am guilty.
Jerry. The defendant will please rise.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Bailiff. Clerk will publish the verdict.
We, the jury, do publish this as our verdict in the matter of the People versus Jerry Miller. 1. On the charge of the indictment of the crime of manslaughter in the first degree, not guilty. 2. On the lesser included charge of simple assault with the intent to inflict bodily harm, we find the defendant guilty.
The defendant will appear for sentencing on February 9th at 10 a.m. This court is now adjourned.
Looking for you. I lost you in the corridor of the courthouse.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but those reporters, you know?
Father told me you might be here.
Yeah, I came over to clean out my locker. I was just remembering a game that I played once. And you'd think it was the playoffs last year, but it was when I was living in Glens Falls. And I was about 12, I guess, maybe 11. And when the river used to freeze, we put a couple of garbage cans on the ice for the goals. And it was cold. Oh, boy, was it cold. It was late in the afternoon, the sun was going down. Hurt to breathe, you know? Well, I got the puck down by our own goal, and I was being Maurice the Rocket Richard. In those days, I was always Maurice the Rocket Richard. And I come up the ice, I'm stick handling, see? Went through the whole damn team. And I made a feint to the left, and then a backhand shot. Right in the corner. Except there weren't any corners because it was garbage cans. And nobody was watching. And Pop wasn't there or anything. I'll always remember how that felt. You know, through the whole team. A perfect shot. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, it was just a game. Didn't mean a damn thing.
I'm sorry.
About what?
The conviction. I thought maybe we had a chance.
Oh, hell, you beat him on the big one, manslaughter.
We could appeal.
For what? What's the best I could get out of that?
New trial.
Yeah, but the judge, he gave me probation for 3 years. I'm not going to any jail. What could I get out of a new trial?
Maybe acquittal. The league has banned you from hockey for life. Maybe we could get that turned around.
Yeah? How long would it take?
2 or 3 years.
In 2 or 3 years, you know how old I'll be? After being out that long, I don't think I could get back. I'm not Gordie Howe. And who would pay? I got a picture of the club picking up the bill, right? Anyway, why should a new trial come out any differently? 'Cause when you get right down to it, I killed him. I can't get away from that. That's the way the game is played.